The Rune Sockets of Finitude. Part 1. Talia and the digging up the countryside evil had been able to get hold of all the stones of finitude. Now, all that was left was to insert them into the gauntlet.
Yes! More power! More power!
How did I get here? What are we doing here? I thought we were just going to put the stones in the gauntlet.
Talia and the stone-snatching evil had all 5 stones of finitude together. For these to be mounted into the gauntlet of finitude, they would first have to be inserted into the ritual rune sockets of finitude.
What? What's this bullshit? Tristan just inserted the damn things into the gauntlet?
No, you just didn't see that sequence. It happened off screen.
The hell he did! I watched him do it myself. Okay, I suppose there's no way I can get out of this. And did I hear you correctly earlier when you said part 1?
Each of the stones had to be taken to its corresponding rune socket. Talia and the not getting wound up about artificially prolonged game time evil set to work.
Well, I'm sure as hell pissed off about this lousy plot twist. It almost looks like someone wanted to get a few more levels in, just because there were 20 missions in Dungeons 3. And now, just because someone is afraid of a few bad reviews, I have to put in an extra shift. Well, thanks a lot, you out there. But hey, what the hell? Let's get going. Show the gormless developers that we can jump through a few extra hoops on top of everything else. Onward, creatures! Find those rune sockets. Get the normal stones, the non-rune stones there, and let's finally put this freaking thing to bed!
payday. In order not to make things too easy for Talia, the storytellers had decided to have heroes appear here far from any civilization to attack the dungeon. Story intrinsic logic was something that happened to other people. Enemies are in the dungeon. Your little snots have dug up a spider. The sniffing around the underground evil's creatures had discovered one of the rune chambers, in the center of which was one of the rune sockets. Using the hand of terror made placing the stone there child's play.
Rune chambers, rune sockets, non-rune stones.
Oh, creativity must have gone into overtime there, huh?
The frantically button-pushing evil could now place the first stone of finitude in a rune socket and unleash its powers. A stone once placed could no longer be removed.
Okay, so it's important to pick the exact bonus we need most right now. Phew, strategic decision. I'm more of a head-through-the-wall person myself. Well, so, just the first thing that comes to mind, and on we go.
Tanos' fanatical fighters grew stronger and stronger. In order to defeat them, the leveling evil's creatures had to become even stronger.
Easy for you to say. Someone capped the maximum level at 10. The nerve!
This was only partially correct. Actually, the demonic Vault of Might offered the ability to raise the maximum level. The secretly leveling its creatures above the maximum level evil immediately tried it out.
Oh, yeah, you can bet your sweet Bippy we're going to try that out. How come you only tell us something like that right before the end, just when the final battle is practically about to begin?
It's called an arc of suspense.
A couple more of your little catchphrases, and I'll suspend you over a gorge. But whatever. Hop to it, little snots. Make some space for a Vault of Might.
The gold vein is almost exhausted. Digging evil's creatures had discovered another rune chamber in the underground. The second stone of finitude had been placed. Only 3 more stones waited to take their proper place. The stone of damage was now in the damaging evil's arsenal and could be used to strengthen its creatures. You've dug into a spider room. Another rune chamber has been discovered. A gold vein has been mined out. Payday. The third stone of finitude was placed. 2 more stones needed to be placed. The fantastic stone of experience was now ready for use. The wise evil could use it to have its creatures level up even faster.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
The power-hungry evil had erected a vault of might with a pylon. Each pylon increased the maximum level of all creatures by 1. Enemies are in the dungeon. day? A shipment of chandeliers was passing through the area with an unbearable dazzle. The lightless evil would soon plunge that shipment into darkness. Your little snots have dug into a spider nest. You've dug into a spider room. One of the digging evil's creatures had discovered another rune chamber in the underground. Your enemies are in the dungeon. A group of careless heroes marched listlessly through the countryside. Intercepting them would yield a fair amount of evilness. You've dug into a spider room. Another rune chamber has been discovered. The fourth stone of finitude was in place. Only one more stone had to be placed before the gauntlet could be charged.
Wait a minute. What do you mean, could be charged?
I think it's better if you just wait and see.
Ah, that does not bode well.
The legendary Stone of Swiftness had now unleashed its full power. From now on, the absolute evil could use this to make its creatures even faster.
It's payday.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. A certain Lord Stark was on his way to a merry wood-chopping contest in the capital. Intercepting him would probably yield a fair amount of evilness.
One of your creatures has become livid with rage.
Payday!
A creature has become livid with rage.
Payday! Creatures are collecting their pay. Enemies are in the dungeon. A group of heroes had gotten lost on the way to their intended quest. Rubbing them out would definitely generate some evilness. Your gold vein is nearly exhausted. Payday! Creatures are collecting their pay. The fifth stone was placed in the corresponding rune socket. The ritual could begin.
I knew it! Not only have I now wasted so much time dragging these damn stones around everywhere, no! Naturally, this nonsense is just going to keep going on forever! Let me guess what the next mission's about.
Well, of course, it could well be that there were heroes who would try to disrupt the ritual. A certain dwarf queen somehow comes to mind.
Oh, of course, that makes sense. If you have to buy yourself some more game time somewhere, then you might as well do it right. The keyboard torturing hack cobbling this story together better hope I never get my hands on him.
The Rune Sockets of Finitude Part 2. The Rune Sockets of Finitude were now ready for the secret, mystical ritual to be performed.
Okay, so now we've wasted time putting the Stones of Finitude into the Rune Sockets of Finitude. So what's next? Move the rune sockets somewhere and use them to form the Stone Circle of Finitude.
Talia could hardly wait to embark on the ritual and infuse the stones with power. But in fact, just saying the secret magic word Xylopylo was enough to start the ritual.
Yeah, sure. I say Xylopylo, and then you'll say something stupid, like in that previous mission, the Ascent, with the Flabery Dicks or whatever it was.
And so Talia set the ritual in motion.
Hey, wait a minute, what the hell? I'm not even prepared yet. My dungeon from the previous map suddenly disappeared. I'm starting from scratch here.
Talia was not yet fully aware of the consequences of the ritual. She probably thought she would be charging the gauntlet of finitude, but in fact, the genius evil was following a different plan.
I beg your pardon? Why am I only being told this now? And this genius evil you're talking about, that little rugrat over there, fervently stuffing a booger in his mouth.
If you wouldn't keep interrupting me, these long intro sequences would be much shorter. Look, it's quite simple. Take good care of the stones so they don't get broken. Unfortunately, someone has also informed the dwarf green Brynhild that you are here and she is now on her way to you.
Probably one of those blabbermouth developers for suspense and stuff. Forward, creatures! Make ready! Build traps and rooms and bring me more sharpened spears for my meeting with those damn developers later.
like to pay a little visit to the underground, lads? Chase off those critters down there.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Boy, come lads! Let's see some action down there in the dungeon. Smash that little dungeon crystal thingy or one of the rune sockets. Or at least destroy a few runes.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Few lone heroes trudge somewhat unmotivated through the countryside. The evilness generating evil would be only too happy to intercept these unfortunate individuals. Your gold vein is nearly exhausted.
xylophone out of those scrawny little dark elf legs. Sockets. Off you go. Take care of it, lads.
Your little snots have completely mined out a gold vein.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Ding dong! It's payday! The tax collector drove down the road in his cart. Could destroying him really generate evilness?
It's payday.
Spoiled offspring of a wealthy noble family ventured into the loveless evil's territory in search of disgusting love. This was unlikely to work out well for this Romeo. Enemies have entered the dungeon.
You're going to regret this. The goddess will punish you if I don't get my hands on you first.
The goddess isn't going to be punishing anyone anymore. She's pushing up daisies now.
unearthed a new area in the dungeon.
One of your creatures is furious and is on strike.
Ding dong! It's payday! Strengthened or intimidated by Tanos' words, the heroes stormed into the dungeon. They seemed to have actually received a blessing, which would at least explain the strange shimmering.
Ha! Doped or not, we're gonna wipe the floor with that handful of heroes. Forward, creatures! Hack those weapons, sharpen those traps, and polish your opponents! Ha 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 ha!
A construction crew set out to rebuild the destroyed hero buildings.
One of your creatures is furious and is on strike.
day.
Better move on and destroy those room sockets.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
It's payday. One of your creatures is furious and is on strike.
The spoiled offspring of a wealthy noble family ventured into the loveless evil's territory in search of disgusting love. This was unlikely to work out well for this Romeo.
One of your creatures is furious and is on strike.
Forward, my faithful! Destroy the rune sockets! The Mother sends you a blessing!
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
A construction crew was on its way to repair and rebuild the destroyed hero structures.
One of your creatures has become livid with rage. There are enemies in your dungeon.
Hey,
Oi! What the hell kind of ape show is this, damn it? Looks like it's time I took matters into my own hands and get this filth a good thrashing into the underground and chop up the crystal thingy.
with these well-honed words, Brynhild, the dwarf queen, set off for the dungeon.
Oi! You scratched me there. For that, I'm gonna chop off your hair and use it to floss my teeth. Oi! Did you just break...
Tell you, you vile creature, you dare attack Brynhild? Not today, not this time, not again.
A portal opened in front of Brynhild, the dwarf queen, and transported her to safety.
What? No way! Treachery! I was just getting ready to give that dwarf the nose job I promised her earlier. Oh, you'll pay for this, Thanos.
Not this time. Instead, a few of my faithful are going to visit your dungeon. Prepare yourself for the wrath of the light.
With an unpleasant plop, a couple of freshly rested heroes suddenly appeared in the dungeon.
I hate stupid game mechanics like this. That's cheating. But anyway, I'm gonna wipe the floor with them. Okay, creatures, finish them off. Flatten them. Cut off their support socks. Ha 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 ha!
May you burn in hell until the end of days.
Your enemies are in the dungeon. A construction crew set out to rebuild the destroyed hero buildings. payday. Creatures are collecting their pay. A new area has been unearthed in the dungeon.
Of light, open your golden portals and deploy your valiant warriors against these abominations.
Mayday! Enemies have entered the dungeon. Your little snots have completely mined out a gold vein. A shipment of urgently needed supplies had taken a desperate shortcut, which came out very close to the dungeon. More or less evilness delivered right to the door free of charge. Manivores have been discovered in your dungeon.
Talia, you mangy beast, your deeds will be avenged. I will make sure of that. Of light emerge from the goddess's golden portals and destroy our enemies!
along. It's payday.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
A number of nuns from the Order of Holy Rollers from the Broker's Hell were canvassing the area in search of donations. If the miserly evil had its way, that begging would soon come to an unpleasant end. Your gold vein is nearly exhausted.
Open, sick golden portals of light. Send heroes into the darkness of the dungeon, that our enemies might be destroyed.
dong! It's payday! Talia and the planning evil had completed the ritual.
Finally! Finally! Man, that crap took forever. And why the hell did we perform that stupid ritual?
Well, first off, the ritual site still needs to be cleaned, but we'll get onto that in part 3 of this mission.
Part 3? Are you freaking serious?
Just kidding, the ritual is over.
Wow, you're really dancing on a volcano. You know that? My sense of humor has now left the building. Okay, but what has this ritual brought us?
The witty evil's plan had come to full fruition. A huge, powerful field of energy arose between the room sockets. A powerful weapon, capable of destroying even a being charged by the Stones of Finitude, such as the mutated Thanos.
Oh, I get it now. So we've set up a giant energy trap for Thanos, and now all we have to do is shove him into it. Not a bad plan at all. Better than what I would have expected from those kitsch scribblers. Okay then, off to the final battle! That spear for Thanos' head is still frightfully lonely.
The last stand, this time for real. The trap for Thanos was set. With the help of Gorgu in the form of the Dungeon Lord and the creature's support, all that was left to do was to make sure that Thanos actually fell into the trap.
Talia, you vile creature! I will tear you and your wretched master to pieces!
In the meantime, Thanos had arrived on the battlefield and immediately pounced on Gorgu, who had once again transformed into the Dungeon Lord.
Excellent! Then Thanos is exactly where we want him to be. Now we just have to push him into the energy field. Although, I wonder what that back there is.
The magic of the rune sockets of finitude was treacherous. These had created not one, but two energy fields.
Okay, I get the picture. Either we slowly push Thanos into the energy field and we win, or he pushes Gorgu into the energy field and we have a problem.
Well done. I see after 2 games and numerous DLCs, you're getting the hang of it.
Yes, yes. Oh, it's all so repetitive. We support Gorgu with troops near him so that he can push Thanos back. And it works the same way in reverse. Forward, creatures! Support Gorgu in his fight against evil masquerading as good. Crush Thanos' supporters and push Thanos back to hell where he belongs. Oops. This could be going better. Oh, come on, Gorgu. Do something, you dopey giant baby.
Despair not, sister. I have come here to stop Thanos and clean up the mess I have made.
Tristan? You? Here? Didn't I see you die earlier?
Sister, you must have noticed by now that you have to make a real effort to make sure that the members of this family are really dead. How many times you alone have died in the course of this campaign? Anyway, I need to get some rest. This whole scenario with evil fighting against evil is still very stressful.
Ha! You think that was it? Evil will never triumph, at least not again. Forward, all ye faithful, to me! I listened and now I know what to do. Shove that abomination into the energy field.
Damn, I should have kept my mouth shut. Oh, come on, creatures. Support Gorgu. Beat up heroes. Bring us victory.
And thus began the final battle. Manivores have appeared in your dungeon. Manivores have been discovered in your dungeon. dug into a spider room. Payday. A spider room. And again, Tristan was ready to support Gorgu and Talia. You have unearthed a new area in the dungeon. You have discovered a number of lava lumps. payday.
Besmirch the overworld, you despicable blowflies! You will pay for that. My men will destroy you, heretical filth! Men, I need you! Stand with me in the fight against these vile abominations! This must end! I call the holy warriors, hear the plea of one of your own! Support me in the righteous campaign of light against these heathens!
Amazingly, somewhere out there seemed to be a power that stood by Thanos. For suddenly, numerous portals opened from which mystical heroes of days gone by poured forth.
Great. Now all of a sudden, there are divine portals that spit out heroes. What's next? Dinosaurs with laser guns?
You should be careful about saying something like that. There's nothing those developers won't do when they're drunk. Looking at the script, they're probably always drunk.
Talia, you're not going to win. My underground allies will crush you.
Indeed, there were a few scattered dwarves in the underground who were willing to fight for Thanos. Fiercely determined, they set about attacking the dungeon.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
You have unearthed a new area in the dungeon.
Forward! Faithful of the light! The portals are open!
Are we still doing that stupid portal number? As if I don't have anything better to do. Like win a freaking final battle, for example.
The more desperate Thanos became, the more options seemed to present themselves to him. The portals would make it significantly more difficult to move forward.
The portals are open! Forward, allies of the light! We dare not lose the battle!
You betcha. This game has already taken way too long. Time for you to meet your maker, Thanos.
payday. A dwarven base in the underground is undergoing further expansion. Thanos was pushed further and further back. His end was near. Your little snots have dug into a spider nest.
Comrades, faithful, once again, I need your help. Stand with me to help the light attain victory. No, this cannot be. I cannot be defeated. Well, I mean, not again.
With these illustrious words, Thanos bid farewell once and for all. Unnatural forces, impossible to depict with our budget, wafted around. The air shimmered with energy and the smell of molten iron and burnt pizza. Wait, my pizza! I'll be right back. So sorry, I hope that didn't affect the finale in any way. Now, where were we? Wafting powers, shimmering air, disgusting taste. Oh, here. With their combined forces, Dungeon Lord Gorgon, Talia, and Tristan were able to push the mutated Thanos back. Onward, ever onward, in the direction of the rune sockets of finitude. The mutated Thanos fought for every inch of ground he lost. As he finally stood with his back to the rune sockets of finitude, he sputtered with the last of his strength.
Evil is going to triumph over God again. This is madness.
This is
Dungeons!
Talia shouted at him and sent him into the void with a spectacular kick. When the magic fog cleared, Thanos was no more. On the one hand, Talia was saddened, having grown accustomed to putting enemies' heads on spears. But still, Talia's joy was so great that she even danced with a nasty little snot and twirled it around. Was this the end? Well, hardly, as there were still some loose ends. What became of Tristan, who seemed to disappear after Thanos' defeat? Would he raise another army of good? What was Brynhild, the dwarf queen, planning? Had she created a doomsday machine? Or even found some rare nithril in the underground, capable of curing the elf's strange disease? Maybe that was something she should discuss with her good friend, Hellburnt. And was the Council of Little Snots really just a cheap reference to a council of lightsaber wielders, or was there more to those deceptive fellows? Had they helped the absolute evil out of loyalty or the goodness of their hearts? But all these questions were for another day or installment of the series. Now, it was time to celebrate.